Yo, 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 we're up.
difficulty itself
We're going.
with
We're moving.
pattern recognition, that things are so incredibly specific and complex. But you could make the argument that one particular part of Liam Lee's patent is not novel, invalidates their patent, but that you, as the defendant,
How about from a consumer standpoint? How, if at all, how does this affect consumers currently?
So currently, there won't likely be a huge impact on consumers. Normally, if you're looking for immediate impact on consumers, you would look for something like a temporary restraining order or a preliminary injunction, which, if granted, would prevent the defendants from continuing to manufacture and sell the product even before the lawsuit is resolved. So in the filing, Liam Lee does not ask for a temporary restraining order or a preliminary injunction. And those are rarely granted anyways. So you would likely not see companies change the way that they are manufacturing and selling.
And so that leads into the next one, which is how might this affect consumers in the future?
Well, it gets additionally complicated by the fact that each of the defendants seems to have their own, well, at least some of them have their own patents as well.
Right.
But you would imagine that if Liam Lee is able to establish an independent separate patent, then likely they will not be allowed to continue to manufacture and sell a product. If they are, it would be some sort of royalty deal, which will increase the price potentially. And if Liam is unable to manufacture, then it's possible that other competitors might enter. There may be people waiting on the sidelines who are waiting for the justice for entry, and they can come in with even more affordable products, or they may just generally increase inventory now that they feel that there's a certainty to this patent issue that they don't feel like they're going to.
Right, some kind of precedent.
Mm-hmm.
Although they'd have to navigate not them infringing on family.
I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be binding. This lawsuit doesn't necessarily mean that they couldn't bring a lawsuit against a different defendant. But some of the arguments, some of the they may have a realistically kind of feel like of the competitor that you're less likely to pursue if they already lost a patent.
A lot of things are in others on the sidelines, they would. It's interesting because if the suit is ultimately, let's take Fantex just to single them out from Thermaltake, but if Fantex is found to be not infringing, that doesn't then necessarily open up sideline competitors to say, okay, this design wasn't infringing, therefore do this design.
Correct. Because that design is also patented.
Right, and likewise for Liam Lee.
Just because there was no liability, the product would not incur liability.
Correct, for different reasons. Yeah. Do you have any general opinions on filing for any specific language you want to talk about?
Yeah, so I thought the filings were pretty cool. I think the general rule is because you own the language and the claims that you make. And so one example of that is that in the complaint they talk about
This is your champion.
These claims that
Pistol Viper's got her mom's
so the patent has multiple claims to it, and those are
I'm the jump master. No straying, no.
Has been infringed. And
I will guide us to victory below.
It meets the minimum requirement.
I'm the jump master.
Make
Follow me.
certain that at least a claim was violated. But it leaves the potential of coming back and revisiting the other claims.
A fan of Halliburton, I see.
It doesn't commit.
It doesn't commit to any other additional claims, which again, in some instances could end up being critical. But it's always important.
I say we land here.
And as an attorney, your goal is to
Enough lambing around. We dropping.
So let's take it on this goes all the way through a line. It's not settled. So let's say I'm unsuccessful in easily, comfortably. So, at this stage, then, if you're hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars for legal fees, and the defendants have successfully defended themselves, are they awarded any compensation for that? Do they have an avenue to sue for legal costs?
So generally, the answer is no. In our legal system, the default position is that the parties pay their own legal expenses. And there are very few situations where you're allowed to recoup legal costs and legal fees. Primarily, they're by statute. If there's a particular law that explicitly says that one party would never get attorney's fees, then you can use that.
Or if maybe there's a contract dispute.
If there's a contract dispute and the parties have stipulated to certain parties getting legal fees, either the prevailing party getting legal fees, and then typically there's sometimes certain things like
Rings around the corner. 10 left.
Sanctions, things maliciously generated, then you could potentially get legal fees.
If you were acting as an attorney, let's say for Fantex or Thermaltake here, and they successfully defend themselves, if I'm the CEO, what would your advisor be? If I say I think this is frivolous, the lawsuit they brought against it is frivolous, how do you navigate that?
It does not appear to me that this is a frivolous lawsuit, so the standard for things that are frivolous or kind of sanctionable, it's pretty close.
Got some materials here.
Kind of going so far beyond what is acceptable, and that you're doing things like not responding to discovery requests. If you were to misrepresent or lie about something to the judge, it has to be particularly egregious. In terms of privilege, then you have to be bringing claims that just had no basis in law, and even then sometimes not. So
Evo shield here. Level 2.
It's not a particularly successful.
New kill leader. Go on, watch out.
Hypotheticals again. If you were an attorney for Fantex or Thermaltake, what considerations might you have when weighing the pros and cons of attempting to invalidate these
Got some materials here.
And is there
Got some extra supplies.
What's interesting here is that Fantex has their own patent of something that's at very least similar space, and so arguments that we're making, as we discussed earlier, the arguments we're making to potentially invalidate a patent could be used against it. And so if you're arguing that this concept is not useful, if it's not novel, if it's an obvious invention, you have your own patent to worry about.
And your own product.
And your own product.
You might potentially say the product is useless or is inferior somehow.
Correct. And then again, on the other side, if you can find a very specific part of...
Listen up, I'm calling a lifeline package in.
Then you could argue really invalidates the contract. But then
Half the squad's left, no time to be tired.
incredible work.
Laser sight here.
Fantex
Level 3.
has to remain holder of its own valid patent
Correct.
for different reasons, right?
Phoenix kit here.
How about if you're an attorney for DMVs, now you're on the other side, what might your strongest approach be for arguing the infringement of the patent? And how do you balance the different roles that your judges play? Maybe helps to give some foundational knowledge there too, because they kind of serve different purposes.
So, functionally, when we're talking about scope of patent as the plaintiff, you're going to want the scope of your patent interpreted kind of broadly. So you can include, specifically in this case, you can include the other product that is that you're infringing.
Right.
Then when you make the infringement argument itself, you're kind of arguing the product itself falls within that scope and therefore infringes. And so that argument is difficult to make, and so you have to find ways of
Calling in a lifeline. Wake up. Let's defend here.
very technical similarity to someone who is not that So the judge
Back here.
will make
Copy that.
Be aware of the new kill leader.
Force shield here.
and
Level
the
3.
parties can argue about that. And so, but that's an issue of question of law that the judge will exclusively deal with. After that, and in this case specifically, I believe that Manly asked for a jury trial. So then the jury will then be the determiners of the issues of fact.
We are drawn towards Scotty.
Optics here. Sniper.
Upon the patent, which now has a scope that has been determined by the jury in this case.
Okay.
A trail
If you're
towards
representing
Scotty.
any
Let us catch them
seeking
unaware.
settlement, what kind of settlement options might there be, as opposed to going all the way through trial, what kind of you've won the lawsuit with options at that point?
It's a difficult balancing act, but in this
Round
situation
2.
like this,
Beginning ring
royalties
countdown.
associated with the continued
Next
sale
ring
of the
spa.
product seems like a very reasonable settlement opportunity. If you were dealing with
Attention.
a company that
Delivering
was
replicator.
willing to negotiate a settlement where they stopped
Replicator
selling
on.
the product
Scanning the
and
area.
compensated you to some extent of the products they were sold.
It seems very
Seems unlikely in a case like this. Sometimes you may see that if you have a very large company kind of going after a smaller company and they're obviously infringing, something like that. And then ultimately, if you have to go through the entire process, then you're looking for a judge.
Well, I was doing research on trying to figure out what might be beneficial to bring into a video as educational material for the audience.
Hop up here.
The
Disruptor.
diplomatic phrasing. One of the comments I read, I just want to.
The ring is
I think
close.
this
Time
encapsulates a
graces
lot of
us.
the general sentiment. So the count was, I don't see this going anywhere. EME can't patent the concept of daisy chain fans, and Fantex isn't using the same identical method.
The ring
What
is
your
close.
general reaction to that?
So I think it's important to make the distinction that this patent is not for daisy chain fans. This patent, I'm not a technical expert, but my understanding is that this
30
patent
seconds
is
remain.
for
Safety is an
a very
afterthought
specific
here.
type of attachment fans, and with a specific description of how they are connected in terms of electricity received, in terms of RGB lighting, in terms of where the pumpkins are, how the pumpkins, and so that to say that it's just a patent.
10 seconds, the ring's just ahead.
That may be true that they wouldn't be able to patent just completion fans. This certainly is much more complicated, indicative of that they were successful.
In progress.
Right? Yeah. So they
The ring is moving for live fighters.
and
No one is
two
inside.
things, two that we know of. And so, and then in terms of the differences between Fantex and Link, is that even if literally the question is, are they sufficiently different?
You hear
not
that?
infringe upon?
There's a care package coming down.
Need to be exceedingly simple, almost in order for it to be infringement. However, that conversation is incredibly difficult,
And that's what.
Here's your birthday
what
present.
and that's what the parties are doing.
We talked about some of the potential negatives. One but
Phoenix
let's talk
Kit
about
here.
generally speaking,
Level 4.
regardless of who wins, what might be the positive outcomes for the PC go
Thanks.
for the consumer?
Well, whenever
Enemy spotted.
this lawsuit, hopefully it'll
Kill
bring
leader eliminated.
some clarity and some predictability to this particular market. And so,
Hostile spotted.
companies, generally investors, consumers, are going
should
to
continue
favor
there.
some sort of
Enemy spotted.
coherence in the market, some sort of consistency and stability, where they know if they manufacture a product, if they invest in a product, if they purchase
Let's
a product,
explore this way.
and that product will not be subject to lawsuits and disputes, that there won't be massive fluctuations in
Let's go
inventory,
this way.
price, availability.
RMA out.
New kill leader appointed.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so I
Careful.
think that
New kill
the
leader.
resolution of these kinds of disputes can provide that. In
Left
these types
enemy
of cases.
spotted.
Not necessarily, but it is definitely something that can happen to resolve a dispute.
Right. Last question is, which angry commenter were you on Reddit when you were
Round
commenting
3. Beginning ring
I
countdown.
have made no comments about it, quite frankly, because I think it's an incredibly interesting and nuanced discussion. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I
Deserve a little more.
yeah, I don't have
Are you
a
ready to roll high?
in my mind.
Let us follow it.
This. You know, it's a very difficult area to talk.
Yeah, so good luck to all the parties, I guess, involved in this. But thank you, Vincent, for joining.
Thank you.
1 minute remains. The ring is
We'll
close.
cut back to the rest of the video.
Listen up and shut them down.
Hey, if it's fun to do this kind of stuff, you go over to patreon.com/GamesNexus. That helps us keep
Contact.
the cost anyway. We do, in fact, pay back to the system. Because it involves a lot of
Less
work.
than 1 minute.
Contact with target.
Come in with an
Taking
informed
a moment to
opinion.
recharge my
Hopefully you found that
Enemy
interesting.
reviving over there.
Following this as it develops.
Don't revive me.
Can
Too
be
dangerous.
useful. Depends on the usual settlement, or if we can proceed all the way through the legal
Half a
system.
minute. Ring
So,
is near.
and at each stage that can change. But we'll keep covering it. Let us know what you think below in terms of your perspective on if the trial is different enough or not. I'm sure the judge and the jury will carefully read through the comment section and base their opinions on that. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. Go to patreon.com/GamersNexus, and we'll see you all next time.
What is this, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? So I talked about the new Blackwell room.
This streaming world is going to a lot of different places. I'm really excited to see where these next few years go as Twitch guidelines have finally updated, and even Twitch partners. Everyone except the exclusively signed big bag contract streamers can now multi-stream on any platform, even while they are live on Twitch. And we have already seen so many people setting examples. I would say Ninja leading the way on this movement, which we've already talked about, as he streams on Twitch and YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever he possibly can, and does certainly increase his concurrent viewership. My question to all of you guys, movement which we've already talked about, as he streams on Twitch and YouTube, whatever he possibly can, and does certainly
Big friends are coming for us.
increase his concurrent viewership. My question to all of you guys is this going to become a trend as it already has? Some other top examples, you guys can leave comments down below. Other streamers you know who are doing this, I would love to, kind of collect that data and use you guys. I apologize, but I'm going to use you because your brain is bigger than mine. But I think some other great examples out there is someone like
I'm
Kid
the jump
Watson.
master.
Kid Watson
Follow
actually
me.
also called Ninja in dropping his Twitch partnership status. I assume that's going to be reinstated, so he could stream to
Stay
platforms
close.
like Kick
I'm the jump
and
master.
Twitch, and I believe maybe YouTube, but multiple platforms at the same time. A great example on the Apex Legends scene. We also have another one in the Valorant space, and a
Here we
very
go.
well-known
Let's go over there.
in the gaming scene, that being Tens, which I caught eyes on, and I think he's already been doing this for a couple of days, and he was live streaming, not just on Twitch, where he does very well, but also on YouTube, and a little bit of a curveball, he was
Zip line
also
over
live
there.
on Twitter, or what some people might call X. I don't know, it's 50-50. I still call it Twitter, which again certainly increased his concurrent viewership. I believe over the past 30 to 60 days, averaging around 12 to 15,000 viewers, and at some points, this adding an extra 5,000 viewers across platforms, which I got to imagine when it comes to sponsorship agreements for someone like Tens, really does make a difference. You're talking about the difference of 5,000
We're all inside the
concurrent
ring.
viewers,
Good.
which, by the way, 5,000 viewers alone puts him in the top 0.001% of streamers. And of course, now he's got around 20k concurrent total across every platform he touches. This is going to be a big thing. We got Wind as well, Cypher PK, apparently going to be trying this out, and Ninja also in the Fortnite space. We've already mentioned him doing it. Is this the next wave of streaming, multi-streaming across all platforms? Like, I think we're already there. And this does mean we need you guys more than ever. We love talking about stream clips, but when streamers are off of Twitch, or on other platforms too, it makes it harder to locate these clips, because I will say Twitch has the best when it comes to LSF and people who use Twitter and Twitch clips. It's just the best platform out there for catching this stuff. A lot of stuff on YouTube is just sucked into the void, and Kick is getting there as well, but we need your help. Our DMs are always open when these streamers have some good discussion points and good highlighted moments, but I think we're already there. Like, this is the future of streaming, sparked by Ninja and now Twitch fully putting the the ability for streamers to do this, which is a pretty big W. We'll see how they enforce the rules, though, of people who are merging chats or maybe breaking some of the restrictions they had as well. But I think the future of streaming is here, and that's simulcasting / multi-streaming. What do you guys think? Till next time, take care of yourselves. What's the best streaming platform, huh? We'll see you back here soon. Take care.
Okay. Who do we have today? Hi, you have a pretty face.
That's my new video tag. Just come with me to sit with dogs. Hey, excuse the audio on this video. I'm trying to mute some of the dog barking. It's just hard to hear. I'll get it better on this video.
Hi. What is your story? No eye contact? Are you growling at me? What is going on? Are you skinny? Oh my goodness. I think this little one's really skinny. Let's go in and sit down with this one. What's the card say? Doberman, mixed breed. Really small for a Doberman. Stray. About 2 years old. A whole lot of this info. Yeah, that's it. Not on the dog walking program yet, so probably pretty new. Okay, let's go in and sit down with this one. Can I come in? Are you gonna be okay with that? Hi. Yeah, he's got kind of that, if I look away and ignore, maybe this guy will just go away. You've been through it, huh? Oh, gosh. You guys can't see it right now, but he's got issues. I don't want to put the camera too close to him over on this side. If we can get him to come out of the shell, you'll see, I think, just how amazing he's so skinny. I had a really good question, actually, from one of you, where you said, well, why don't you just sit down with him? Like, why don't you just start by sitting? I actually never even thought about it, but I did when you asked me that question, and the reason I do it is just for safety. And once I sit down, if a dog reacts out of fear and goes into bite or panics, and so this way I can shoot out very quickly if I need to, if the dog's so uncomfortable that I'll just put too much fear on him. Oh, that's good. Okay, so then something like that, a sign like that, gives me the confidence to go ahead and sit versus kneel. But I have to be really careful today. The whole idea is to come in here and give them comfort and not create so much stress that it causes a fear reaction that drives them into biting. And just everything is with caution. We just move slowly. I'm still going to sit in front of him so he doesn't feel the pressure. And I'm going to keep talking to you guys because then the focus isn't on him. We already had a really big first step where he took a treat. That's huge because fear does just wild things to all of us. And he's so emaciated that he has to come out of his fear state because if Doug's not eating, they'll just continue to spiral and get worse. And a lot of dogs in rescue that are in this space, like this condition, this emaciated, usually they don't make it health-wise. The fact that this guy is shot, that's probably a better situation for him right now. A lot of you say, you know, is this something I can do or I want to do this? And you can. Like, you can do what I'm doing. How I got started is I just started volunteering at rescues and shelters. I want to talk a little bit more about this once we get to know him a little bit more and he gets a little more comfortable. Oh. Okay. Replay that interaction right there. He's not a treat taker. I went in for an open hand, which I usually go in and I give him a little piece of treat like this. Now, your dog at home or a domestic dog that's been loved and given a lot of treats, an open hand treat is great because then they're not going to bite your fingers. When you're in a shelter in an enclosed space where every centimeter or every inch matters and it can create pressure on a dog, I'm willing to risk a little bit of a chomp on my finger so that they take that treat. He is not a treat taker. He has not been given a lot of treats in his life, I would almost say. And how I know that is because in the way he takes treats. I don't even know if I know how to explain it, but you just know, like, you get in the treat, you
But I'll
know,
bring the sun.
you can tell they have treat.
Still got it.
So someone's going, nick, you know, gentle.
This is gonna be a good fight.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it overhand. Now watch. The hand just might not happen. Yeah, you see me going for my thumb. Don't go for my thumb, go for the tree, buddy. No, I have
This is your champion.
Look at that. Actually, that was so good. You can do this like I do. Just get started. Go.
I'm the jump master. No straying now.
Let me jump in real quick here because it's shocking seeing a dog in this sort of state, and I just want you guys to know I'm going to cover the adoption. And I reached out to Sundays for Dogs.
It'd be a good idea to land here,
It's
Deba.
a really nutritious dog food that I feed to my dogs, and they are going to cover his.
I'm Deba. Remember, any weapon is better than no
And
weapon.
this really happened.
Jumping! Remember to keep your mouth closed for bugs.
As much as you need, which is awesome. And I twisted his arm, and there it is. All you guys, 60% off for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, a special. I've never seen that before. So let's support the company that are supporting us. You can go to rocketshop.com/Sundays and use code ROCKET60.
Let's go, motherfuckers.
Round one. Beginning ring countdown.
Hi. Whatever you've been through, hi. Whatever you have been through, I am sorry.
Ring close in 1 minute.
You did not deserve this. Hi. What are you coming around?
First blood.
Hi, can I make eye contact with
The
you?
battle happens quick.
Hi.
Be ready.
Sam,
45
Crayola,
seconds. Rings just up ahead.
New kill
Let's
leader
find out.
appointed.
I need a hop up.
Yeah, this is good. I want him checking me out.
Extended sniper mag here. Level 3.
30 seconds. Rings close.
Stabilizer
That's really
Level
good.
2.
Alexis, what's this risk?
So we were found going to Chick-fil-A by Good Samaritan.
10 seconds. The ring's just ahead.
Yeah. Trying to make contact with an owner.
Wait, so we have a microchip?
Yeah.
You might be on the microchip.
In progress.
We'll be toasted by the ring if we don't move.
Phone number.
The reason Alexis is being a little hesitant, I'll fill in the
We
blanks
can
here.
do space.
By the way, what's awesome about Alexis is we kind of team up. We just go through the kennel and
Shotgun
we're
bolt
on
here.
this
Level
discovery
4.
and
It'll
learning
increase
journey
fire rate
together.
for
So that's why I
shotguns.
thought I'd bring you guys along. It still feels a little silly, I'll be
Kill
honest,
leader
because
has been eliminated.
like, this is just sitting with dogs is awesome, and so to have the whole world in here with us, I don't know,
Package being delivered.
it's different.
We got a care package on
But
the way.
it's fun, and I really like bringing you guys along. But so she's looking into the shelter system.
Rethinking our
We
strategy.
do have an owner.
How about
So
moving
we
here?
own or no. Now what happens in this situation is there's obviously something off with him. And so the owner can't just come pick him up. You know, it doesn't work that way. Like, there has to be a major discussion.
Here's your
of
birthday
potential
present.
education, you know, order on so that's not, it's just not my department. I'm not animal control.
Eyes
And I leave
Frag out.
Hey, come here, man. What are you doing, man?
I'll say this, as hard as it is, most of the time, the right situation is reuniting the family with their dog. When the dog is this amazing,
Recharging my shields. 1
obviously,
sec.
Where?
there's a lot more going on and there's a problem. Sometimes if a dog's hungry, it's because the family can't afford the food, or there's a lack of education. But
Recharging my shields. Don't worry about me.
Honestly, I don't know how he's still here.
Who's got you amped like a chin?
As a good team, from here moving forward, he's gonna be okay, and we're gonna make sure. Should we give him some? Should we move into the positive
I'm opening a
affirmations?
Phoenix kit.
You're a good boy. You're a good boy. Oh. You're a good boy. Who's a good boy?
Please
Are you a
don't
good
go
boy?
alone.
Is there a little tail right there? Are you a good boy? Are you a good boy? You would tell you that before? You're a good boy. You're handsome. You deserve more. From here on out, you are not going to go hungry. You're going to get more treats than any dog I've ever met in my whole life until they come in and they say, he's overweight.
All right,
and
heads up. You got an
and
enemy.
then we'll cut back a little bit, okay? We're going to make sure of that. Hi.
I think we should go there. Rival over there. Wonder what the play is.
Watch your back. Enemy there.
Just some amazing diet and just see him become who he was always meant to be. Because there's only two, he's two, right? Is that
Yeah, he's pretty young. He's between 2 and 3.
he's 2 and 3, so if we can put him back on track now, like he's
Let's camp out over here.
whole life in front of him. Dobermans, I think they have a life expectancy of like 10 to 12 years. I'm not a Doberman expert, so okay, so let me just say that too. I am not like, if you're watching this, like, I know a lot about
New
dogs.
kill leader. The
But
tides of battle
I'm
have
not
changed.
a certified behaviorist or 20-year, I just want to help dogs as much as I can, and I don't think I'll ever label myself as an expert. Sometimes I guess I call myself a pet expert, but what I'm trying to say is like, I'm always learning, and I'm gonna make mistakes. Every time I sit with a dog, I make mistakes, I learn new things, or even stuff I know I make mistakes, and I have to remind myself of that. Does he have
Enemy activity this way. Stay on your toes.
Oh, previous? Oh yeah, because he's the male.
Yeah, we're not on the tunnel part right now, but he does have a name. This dog's name is Bear.
Let me see if he knows his name. You're a good boy, Bear. You're a good boy, Bear. Bear. You're a good boy. Bear. 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 Does that ring a bell, buddy? You're a good boy, Bear. Hi, Bear. You're a good boy. Hi.
Ring countdown.
Hi, buddy. Bear. You're a good boy. It's gonna be okay from here, I promise. We're gonna get you
Reinforcing my Evo
from
shield.
here.
Got a new
You
kill
will
leader.
not go
Found
without
extra
a full
supplies.
belly. We're gonna have a full belly. We're gonna get you a full heart. Yeah.
Come and get your birthday present.
That really loves you and is gonna make sure you're okay. And you have a full audience. Hopefully is falling in love with you as much as I am. I hope it's coming across
Looking for loot
to
over here.
you the way it is with me here, where like I'm getting chill. Look, like I'm getting chill sitting with him because
Evac tower here,
he's
kiddos.
so amazing, and what he's had to endure when likely all he wants to give is unconditional love is just
Med
so
kit here.
frustrating.
Ring close in 1 minute.
Shots on me. Moving around over here. Reinforcing my Evo shield.
Amping you up.
If I adopt him personally.
Taking shots here.
Moving my local shield.
Don't do that.
We'll take a little walk this way.
You thought it.
45 seconds. Rings close.
I'm recharging my Evo shield. Not the one on my back.
Recharging my shield. Got this 1 sec.
Yeah, alright.
They're getting third party. They're getting third party.
30 seconds. Rings close.
Healing.
It's so funny, you smell it, they won't let people look at them.
Fool right here.
They got like
I'm healing up.
awkwardness, behavioral awkwardness. Because he doesn't have
Let's explore that way.
Got a buster there.
That.
Okay, that was really good. So,
Well.
see how
Looks like we got an
he
enemy.
stepped back and he had the confidence to take
Firing.
the free.
Toss a thermite.
He's not.
Set to frag.
In progress.
Face down.
Shots on me.
He went back.
Leave another squad mate. I am up.
Your blood's flowing.
Reinforcing my Evo shield.
Care package being delivered.
What's that?
Came early. Care package.
Wait, how long has he been in here?
He's been here for...
Heads up, making an adjustment to my mobile shield. Reinforcing my Evo shield.
Taking shots here.
Distraction by keep out their nose over and over on the LinkedIn or, calling at the face. They're just...
Alexis is I was thinking if he just got he's been here for 3 days, so he gets what's called kennel nose. And,
Taking fire.
I'd say it's related closest to Redbird. Usually on the stress just builds up, and so there's kind of a natural
Well, don't take it so seriously, mate. The word game is literally in the title.
Enemy spotted.
check everything out. He's in here for 4 days. If they contact the owner, a lot of times in this situation, they'll get the owner to release the dog sooner so we can start the rehabilitation journey.
You were, by the way, you were the prettiest skinny dog I've ever seen in my life. You're like a super dog. Look at you. Pretty long legs, pretty eyes. All that stress from a shelter comes from the surroundings. Like, if you can hear that other dog barking, immediately send them back into stress sleep.
That's just hard. It's hard when a dog's trying to heal and rehabilitate. So hopefully, if he is released, then he can go into, be adopted or potentially even a foster situation. A lot of you have been asking, how can I help? How can I do this? How can I be a part of this? Well, if you want to help on our channel and you want to contribute, becoming a monthly member, it really helps because it allows us to continue to do this and it's a safe space. So updates go out there first. The reason I do that is sometimes updates change and the dog gets adopted, returned the next day, so it's a safe space until I'm comfortable to share the information live. A lot of times people are like, give me the updates. I want the updates. It's been 2 or 3 days, but it just takes time sometimes. But yeah, so hit the join button, become a member if you want. And I guess the question I'll leave up to you guys is, what do you think? Is there a compassion and education opportunity here with the previous owner? Or is it absolutely not, hands down? Look at this guy. Absolutely not, hands down. They get no shot.
It all depends on the situation. Was this dog lost for a long time?
I will tell you
this,
what he's finding a treat.
Did the owner do this to this dog?
The good thing is he's workable. You can really work with him because he's treat motivated, and that is one of the best gateways into helping the dog is being able to use traits to help him gain confidence, guidance, training. But yeah, I'm going to leave that question to you guys, and one of the best ways you can help is by sharing this, because he's going to need a home. Let's say he is reunited with the owner and that's worked out, okay, but he's going to need a home or a foster, and if you share this, you never know when that share will be the share that is actually the one that gets him adopted. It's pretty wild, how many of you have been coming to the shelter, even from 4 hours away, driving to the shelter to adopt a dog. It means so much to me. It's so neat. Yeah, and I say, if you want to do this, if you want to get started, if you want to do this with me, go to a rescue shelter. They may not have sitting with dogs, but you can walk dogs, you can read to dogs, you can help clean, and you just learn. You don't have to be a pro. You just have to want to help, and there is an opportunity, because shelters need you more than anything. And I hear that his camera work down there. What am I missing?
I think you've covered pretty much everything. He's just gonna need somebody who, if he ends up not going back to his owner,
King of the Hill.
he needs somebody who's going to take understanding of his condition and work with him and get him up to full health again the right way. Whether he can become a kid on that, or they adopt.
I think that's a good point. If we want to adopt him, it's likely not a situation where this will be your first dog. Maybe you've adopted a dog before, and you have a dog, and you want to take the opportunity to just kind of go deeper and work harder to help a dog that really needs it. Then the hardest part is like leaving. But we're gonna come back and check on you. Okay? It's gonna be okay. Okay? Keep everyone updated. And leave them a comment of encouragement. Like, you know, thinking, but alright, we're gonna get this guy taken care of. No calls.
Throw some grenades in there.
Do not want to overwhelm him. If you live close by and you want to stop down and put a hold on him, please do so. You can be the first in line to adopt him. I'll link all this information in the description. And I'm going to cover the adoption fee. You remember, some days is going to feed him for a year. Let me tell you why this is fantastic. So it's 15. Shields are down.
Sorry.
We tried just about everything. We came across Sundays for dogs. A lot of the doctor companies give you a lot of fancy marketing this week. I know you just need a dog food. Let me tell you, they're going to be 60% off. Go down to over 5. Throughout Sunday, the food is soon ready to start to finish. Your team will come to the store for a short list of ingredients. Nutrients and moisture. Your team is food and a lot of Sunday food has been starts it down. Hello to everybody that's here. This will be on YouTube later, but today, get your tea, grab a comfortable seat, because we are finally going to be talking about the big thing in the last, 24 to 36 hours in the music industry. Where are your tips going when you are tipping the merch table people at live shows? I know some of you guys some of you guys have it. I want to show you guys how TV culture in the US works. I want to show you guys, minimum wages and explain stuff, but I'll go ahead and go over this statement and talk about this, because this is kind of insane. I think this is probably one of the wildest takes I've seen from a band in a very long time. I want to analyze this and discuss with you guys. And one of the reasons I wanted to do it live is because, like I said, I don't want to just shout into the void and make people watch this on YouTube later. I want people in chat to well, I think we've discovered an imbalance that I wish to shed light on. As a touring musician, we put a huge amount of energy into bringing our music to our fans. It's our pleasure and it's our passion. But believe me when I say it costs us everything to do this. Touring at our level breaks even. Everything goes towards production. When you purchase merch from the band, as is customary, you're not tipping the band. This tip goes to the merch seller. Now, really quick before we continue, because this is a few slides, I want to see who actually does this, because before I started doing backline teching and tour management, I was a merch manager for years. And while I didn't personally do tips a lot, because a lot of times I was working with a company, a merch company that put me on a tour and they didn't allow us to take tips because they gave us a percentage of sales. I don't think I ever encountered anybody that thought if they tried to tip that the merchandise, that their tip is going to be hit. So I'm going to put a poll on stage right now while we're here. I want to put a poll up, and I want to know how many of you thought that was going to be
this is going to land before we do it. I will honestly tell you after, because I don't want to sway this either way.
Who do you tell?
I thought this was going to land around 8%. Half of you were going to say the tip goes to the vendor, and 20% of you were going to say to the band. The official result, 82% of you said you thought your tip was going to the vendor.
Enemy team took the
And
hill.
18% of you thought it was going to the band.
Enemy
So
about
let's
to
continue.
score.
Jake continued on the next slide by saying, from speaking with fans, we knew some of you thought you were tipping the band. Firstly, thank you. Secondly, we apologize that your tip
Enemy
hadn't reached
team
us. We
scored.
didn't have vision of
Hill
the system
in
side
sight.
culture until now. From
Hill
speaking to
ready.
peers, we have discovered
Hill
that some merch
control.
sellers are generating in excess of $30,000 in tips over the course of a 5 to 6 week tour, which is insane. No one else on a tour at our level makes anything close to this. Band members certainly do not. The other two members do not. The first line of the has vision of the system slash culture until now. I'm not buying it. I personally don't buy that at all, because this is a band that while they are from the UK, they've toured in the US and North America so many times. And I could be wrong, but I thought I read somewhere online when I was reading all this the other day that at least one of their band members, either right now or has in the past, lived in the US. Future fans, just wanted to interject while I edit this video. Since we did this on Twitch today, I actually heard from a handful of drummers that know Jay, it actually did confirm to me that he lives in the US. Just to check the second source, you can easily see that by going through his Facebook and Instagram as well. Back to it. They are not unfamiliar with tipping culture in the US. And you can make the argument that, yeah, maybe when they're on tour they haven't encountered this or whatever, but like, I've toured all over the world, and just from being in another country once, I can figure out what their customs and what's normal in that country pretty quick. So, I personally am not buying that. I just don't. They also said from speaking to their peers, aka other bands, they've discovered that some merch sellers are generating in excess of over $30,000 in tips over the course of a 5 to 6 week tour. If I was making that kind of money doing merchandise, I would have never fucking quit doing merchandise. I would be doing merchandise right now if I was making $30,000 in a 5 to 6 week tour. It's not happening. It's not happening for one person. Has a band has a merchandise operation probably gotten $30,000 in tips over a 5-6 week tour? That is probably happening, but it's being split between multiple people, multiple vendors. That's not going to one merchandise manager. It's not happening. And it's just. Let me rephrase, just to be fair, maybe it's happened, but it's not normal. And it's usually getting split between multiple people, just not one person. Maddie Merch in chat, who, for people later, legendary merch guy in the States. I've known Maddie for years, just said he, as in Jay, is comparing a merch person for a much bigger band to his much smaller band. That is 100% accurate. There is no way that somebody at their level, there's no way a merch person at somebody in their level is making $30,000 in tips on a tour. It's just not happening. The bottom part where he says no one else on a tour or label makes anything close to this, the band members certainly do not. The other crew members are on agreed fees, nowhere close to this. Yeah, that is true, but here's the thing that Jay didn't bring up, which I would love for somebody to put their money where their mouth is, somebody in a band, and actually tell us what they were paying the merchandise manager. Because I'll tell you right now, merchandise managers have been shit on for years. Merchandise managers in the hierarchy of a tour have always been close to the bottom. And if you're a woman doing merchandise, it's even worse. You'll get looked at even lower. So merch positions have always had a low salary. So now that we're in an age where they can make up for it with tips or vending percentages and stuff, like, good for them. I have no issue. Like, on my last tour, like everybody knows, I was tour managing Electric Callboy. I don't know this for sure, but I would with a pretty high certainty tell you our merchandise manager probably made more money on that tour than I did. And good for her, because I saw how she worked every day. She worked her ass off. She was loading in when we loaded in. She was loading in after the rest of the crew was loading out. She was dealing people from the time doors open until she vended all those shows herself. So, yeah, let her keep those tips. Also, the big point here, too, as a crew member, it is none of my fucking business how much any other person on my tour is getting paid. Because before a tour, you negotiate your pay for the position with the band or management that you're working for. If you get out on a tour and find out somebody else is being paid more than you, negotiate better next time. That's all I can say. Mind your fucking business, do your job, you agreed to your rate. The next slide, it continues by saying, we understand that in the U.S. service industry, tipping culture is normal. It brings a low-paid job up to a hopefully livable level. The job we're hiring, though, is not a low-paid job. Again, tell everybody how much you're paying your merch person versus everybody else. Seriously. Like, listen, I openly talk about stuff in the music industry because I want to be honest with me, and I don't care telling people how much money I've made and stuff like that, but I believe that bands should have to reveal their finances. I would just like to say that. But if you're making this video, tell us how much you're paying your merch person. Because if you're paying your merch person less than everybody else on your tour, then that's exactly what you just described. Tipping culture brings low-paid jobs up to a hopefully livable level. You can't get mad when you're paying the merch person less and they're taking tips to get to that livable level, and they sometimes make more money than the other people. He continues by saying, while it goes against the grain, our suggestion is that all tips taken in the merch basket should be shared across the entourage, and we're all here all day to bring the show to you. It seems unfair for one person to own the monopoly on tips for the entire package. You know what the fucking most mind-blowing thing about that statement is to me? Bands for years now have been complaining about merchandise, right? Like, they've been complaining that venues are taking a percentage of our merchandise money and they have to pay everything for it. We sell all of our merchandise and then the venue takes it. What the fuck is that statement then? Your merchandise manager just sold all of your merchandise from the time doors opened until they closed, had to deal with all of your fans, a lot of that don't know what sizes they wear, that hold up the line and stuff like that, and now you're saying you want a percentage of the money that they make. Yeah. Come on, dude. While it's too late to make this change, the tour will set up a digital tip jar and share between you and the tour. That's over. Scan the tip band QR code at our merch desk if you'd like to tip your tip to reach all of us. As always, thank you for your continued support. Can't wait to see you. I did some digging on this real quick. Some people that had gone to the shows. From some of my production manager friends that work at the venue. And, you know, from what I was told, that QR code that they have now set up is their deal. And then one day, somebody just found out how much in tips the merchandise manager was getting versus that QR code generated. And somebody got that was, I know I'm getting charged on this because I am a former merch person and stuff like that, and I don't need to drag Jay through the dirt here. I think this is an emotionally charged post that he didn't fully think through, and I do think there was a sense of confirmation bias going on, where he was hoping that other people and other bands and fans were going to back him up and be like, yeah, that's not fair, you guys should get all those tips too. And that didn't happen. In fact, the comments on this got so out of hand from other bands, from other people in the industry, that Jay turned all the comments on his Instagram post about this. Completely turned them off. Now, what I do think is a little juvenile is that people spilled over into his other posts and started blowing up on him and talking to him on his other posts that have nothing to do with this, so it's kind of ridiculous. Like, listen, the guy who's getting out there, I understand it's probably frustrating as fans not making as much money as you think you should. I've definitely done that, being in a band myself, and I've worked for bands that I know are spending a lot of money. But at the end of the day, man, if you want to make more money, if you want to get tips at your merch table, go work your merch table. Or really, it's that easy. If you want those tips at your merch table, go work your merch table. I go show all the time, and I see bands and bigger at their merch tables all the time, selling their own merch and doing all the merchandise themselves. So anyways, like we said, Jay turned off comments on Instagram, but he didn't turn them off. There's some people that are sticking up to the band because they love the band. But there are a lot of other people that were going hard on it. Like, the most liked comment on on here, right here. Mike Caputo. That is the drummer for Job for Cowboys. He used to drum for Brand of Sacrifice. A fellow band member, a fellow artist, said, just a heads up, U.S. federal labor laws only allow you to between people who also work the tip position and their immediate helpers. So spreading merchandise to crew in the band would technically be illegal as far as labor laws go, unless they're actually working in that position or working a position that immediately assists that person. That is 100% correct. I can't remember what code it is. I'm going to find it. I'm going to put it on screen right here. But there is a U.S. Department of Labor code that specifically says employers and managers cannot take tips from their employees that are working on a tip basis. And I know because a lot of you guys here are European, there are a lot of you, you're not familiar with how the system works. So let's really quickly just talk about that. Tipping culture in the U.S. is this. To basically put employees' wages in the hands of the customers. They are less than minimum wage, like the standard minimum wage. Each state and industry has a different minimum wage for like bartenders, servers, stuff like that. Croax Curse just said, but is the merch manager considered a tip-based job? You know what? That's a fair question to bring up. Every position is different. Like that's like that. This isn't black and white. There's so much gray area. Merchandise manager jobs are generally paid low because they do give them a percentage of sales, or they do allow them to get tips. Tipping has really become a big thing in merchandise in like the last 5 to 6 years because everything has started moving to credit, and tips are on credit card transactions now. The one thing we haven't brought up yet either is that taxes on tips are pretty high. $30,000 amount that they threw out, even if a merch manager made that, they still being taxed like that. Not paying that right. BC just said regardless of if it's tip, if you're doing the job for customers, you should get the tips. Absolutely. It is a service job. It is a customer service job, for sure. Here, right on screen right now, is the U.S. federal tipped minimum wage. Federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. That is the bare minimum. Our minimum is a tipped minimum wage job, which is service industry, which is delivery drivers, bartenders, servers, all of that kind of stuff. The federal tipped minimum wage is $2.15. So, you see how outside of industry-related jobs, those jobs are often paid much lower than Here's the other thing too, like, this should never have been a post that was made in the middle of a tour. This should have been something that was discussed after the tour, before the tour, something like that, because, like we've already talked about, every person on a crew negotiates their salary for a job. So if this merchandise person, this merch girl that was out with them, was told that she gets a base salary and gets to keep the tips, like she was, that's the deal. They can't all of a sudden find out that she was making more money than the other crew from tips and then being like, this is unfair. Well, let's keep going down some of these comments. Like one person on here said, amazing how many misinformed, terrible takes are in the comments. This is 100% about nothing other than transparency. If you want to tip the merch table, tip them. If you want to tip the band and crew directly, now there's a way to do that. Well, there already was a way to do that, but I digress. Nobody is saying laborers don't deserve to be paid/tipped, but now you know exactly where the money is going. That's it. Calm down. Well, as you can see, 82% of you already thought your money was going to the vendor to begin with. Sorry, my wife just interrupted my stream. Also, they said nobody is saying laborers don't deserve to be paid tips. No, they didn't say that, but they said that everybody else in the band and crew deserves those tips as well. This wasn't just about being transparent. I think this was, again, for confirmation bias. Like, they were hoping to get some support and some backup on people saying, yeah, you deserve all those tips too, and they didn't get it. Because if this was 100% about nothing other than transparency, all they needed to say was, hey, just so you guys know, when you tip at merch tables, it goes to the vendors and not the band, and if you'd like to tip us as well, you can use the QR code. That statement is 100% about transparency. Now, here's the other crazy thing. Like, if you take your tips away from your merchandise manager, who's getting their income supplemented, supposedly, allegedly, like, we're assuming they have a lower pay than the rest of the crew. You take those tips away, then you need to pay that merchandise manager more out of your own pocket. But let's continue on with all this stuff, because we've been sitting here talking a lot on Twitch just randomly. A day ago, Jay came back and posted, like, you know, he walked his previous post back and posted a new one. As you can see down here on screen right there, comments on this post have been limited. So again, he got some pushback, he limited comments, and he also blocked a ton of people. I know merch managers personally that were like arguing his points on the comments, and he deleted their comments and blocked them. But let's read this. Jay said, "Hi guys, I would like to talk about my recent post to clarify the situation. We have not and will not be taking a cut of merch seller tips and would never wish to." Hold on here a second. I would like to just redirect us to his first post. While it goes against the grain, our suggestion is that all tips taken at the merch desk should be shared across the entourage, band, and crew. So you did wish to.
Nice work.
Copy. As a band, we do not expect tips at shows. However, we have had a number of generous fans donating tips at the merch desk, believing that they are in part reaching the band and touring party. We had set up a small donation QR code for the touring party, but regrettably it is this has been removed. Tipping at the merch stand is a means to as is waiting instructions. Merch sellers are working hard, as are the band and crew, and whether they tour with us or join us locally, they are an extremely valued member of our team. We are not a part of the U.S. tipping culture and are in no position to challenge us, but we are a transparent bunch of people and will always shed a light on issues that arise. We thank you for your continued support as always. Tesseract. I don't think that was any form of damage control. I think he tried to walk it back, and he walked it back and tripped and fell into a pile of shit, honestly, because that, from comments online, had done even more, because it's super contradictory. You know, in their previous posts, they're talking about how it's unfair that one person monopolizes tips, but then they praise the merch people on this one. Like, it's just really weird, man. Like, this whole thing is just bizarre. Like, my opinion, it's just, I know the internet never forgets, but it's like, dude, just delete the original post. Delete the original post, and then just say, yep, sorry, it's an emotionally charged post, and I was wrong. Now, there was one comment that I saw on his Instagram on a different post that I kind of want to address here, because I found out some information. When I first read this, I was like, wow, this is crazy, but I found out it's not entirely true. Somebody said, imagine being so soft you turn off the comments when a bunch of people that do more work on tours than you come for you over your fine-ass tape. Maybe you shouldn't have let your merch person go 10 days into a tour. Maybe you shouldn't have waited until she left the tour to voice your garbage view on the money made by a crew member because you don't pay them enough. Maybe get out of the bandwagon and back into a van, you broke baby. Now, when I read that, I was like, whoa, they fired their merch person 10 days into this, and now they're using local sellers? Like, what's going on? I just transparency, as we're talking about here. If people see that comment, I just want you to know that's not true. The actual girl that was out there doing merch has posted about this, and I want to read that comment. It was public. I don't know where it is. I have a screenshot of it, but I think she posted it on Instagram or something. So the merch girl Ariel that was out there on this tour, I actually kind of talked to her briefly on a group chat. She clarified she was only originally doing 10 days of that tour. She just went out there to help out, and then she was going back to a different tour that she was already on. And since she's left, they are now using local vendors at every venue. So that's what's still funny to me. Instead of just, now that they know how much tips are bringing in, instead of just selling merch themselves, they're hiring local vendors, meaning that they're paying somebody, and after this, assuming that they're not going to try to take tips from them. But Ariel did address this, and she said, hey all, I'm the merch manager that was hired on for the first 10 days of the band's current tour. I just want to say I put out the QR code that was asked to be put out each night, and fans had the option to tip me or scan the code to tip the band. Never once did anyone ask me if they were tipping the band. The only question I ever got asked is if the tips on the screen went to me, to which I responded yes. Fans had the option to click no, which many did. I agreed on a date rate when I started this tour, and also agreed on 100% of the tips going to me. This was agreed upon before starting, as was me leaving 10 days in because the band was transitioning to a smaller vehicle. I did not get let go. I agreed for the 10-day tour. If a fan was confused, it was because they never asked. I have been touring and working in the music industry for many, many years, and never once have I had a fan come up to me thinking their tip was going to the band. Merch managers are more often than not the first people in the venue and the last person out. We don't get a break mid-show like the rest of the crew. We work 12 to 14-hour days on show days and spend weeks advancing and getting ready for these tours. We spend hours keeping track of inventory and accounting for the band. We do reorders for merch to make sure that we are fully stocked for the fans and making sure the fans have the best experience at the table, being that we are the only bridge between the band and the fans. All the crew works hard, and I will not diminish that fact. Thinking the merch manager works 4 hours during the show is a joke, and it's wildly untrue. If you have questions, I can answer them, but that's all I'll say on this matter. I do want to say Tesseract, the band, and humans were wonderful to me and are amazingly sweet humans. They never once made me feel like an outsider because I was new coming into their camp, and their TM and other crew members always made sure I had food and water
Critical
while I was
engine
working the
damage.
table, not able to leave to get dinner and such. They are a hard-working bunch. Cheers. She added in a separate comment, oh, also, I have never made $30,000 on a tour
Problem
since
solved, sir.
touring and working in the music industry since 2007. Nor would I have made that working for this band. Thanks to anyone that has tipped me at a show and keep tipping the hard-working merch managers. Every single thing she just said is spot. I have nothing to argue. The only thing I might argue is that they're the first ones in the last one. Now, they're one of the first and one of the last time. But there were many times on my last one I was and most often the last one. But I digress from that. I was a merch person. I did the point. Merch people are working 4 days, but there has been a lot of professionals, big name professional people in this industry that I've lost a little respect for in private groups online after this happened, where they're like shitting on merch shops, like front of house people, production managers, guitar techs, drum techs, where they're like, yeah, I don't get tipped for doing my job, so merch people shouldn't either. They're only working 4 to 5 hours a day anyways. They don't do half of the work that we do. I'm like, motherfucker, they probably do more work than you do. Not to mention, Ariel brought up the fact that this is true as well. Before tours start, merch managers are advancing everything. Merch managers are doing work from
Enemy
home before
submarine
the tour even
spotted.
starts. On days off, merch managers are doing accounting and projecting and reorders and forecasting. Like, it's similar to being a tour manager almost. Your work barely ever ends. When you're on a day off on tour, you've got work to do. During the day, if you get set up and your displays up and stuff like that, you've still got work to do. Merch managers are doing far more work than a lot of other people in our industry would like to credit them to do it. I would love, if they think it's so easy and it's not a lot of work, I would love to see some of these touring people that do front of house and lighting and background and stuff like that. Go to a club tour or a merch tour and see how you enjoy it. Seriously.
Our victory is
I've talked to other bands that have straight up told me, like, you couldn't pay me enough to do merch. Or my own merch. Like, for real. I had a lot of bands hit me up about this when this was posted, being like, you're going to do a video on this, right? And I've had long conversations with people where I've had many artists tell me, like, dude, the whole reason we pay a merch person is because we don't want to deal with that shit. It is hard work to kind of wrap this whole thing up. It's crazy to me that a band that has been touring for so long, that has toured all over the world, like, put out a statement like that. Like, you could, come on, you guys know better. And this is no disrespect to Jay or Tesseract. I am a Tesseract fan, and I'm a fan of Jay's drumming. I just think that this was a very emotionally driven, not thought out post that was looking for some confirmation bias, because as an artist right now at a mid-level club tour, it is difficult. And it probably is frustrating knowing that you're probably not making as much as you would like to in this industry. That's a whole different topic we could spend a lot of time on. But to try and reduce the work of your merchandise manager and saying that you and the rest of your crew are entitled to those tips when you've done nothing to help them all day, just not a good look. Not a good look at all. But hopefully we cleared up some stuff for you guys on here. I thank you to everybody that was in here. A special shout out to some of the music industry people that were in this chat for this one as well. This might make for a good podcast episode or another video where we could talk to some touring merchandise managers about what goes on with what they're doing and stuff like that. But
Teammate, I need your support.
This is the AWOL 3500 Pro, a true 4K triple laser projector, and it's glorious. I bought a OLED TV back in 2019, and that was a transformative experience. If you follow my channel for a while, you'll know how much I've shielded OLEDs as they're truly the best way to upgrade your gaming and movie content experience. In the last couple of years, I've been thinking about how to upgrade from that, and 8K TVs have been on my radar, but 8K OLEDs are too expensive and too unwieldy at sizes like 88 inches, which is where you take advantage of high resolution. So the obvious step up from my 55-inch C9 OLED was a projector, but projectors have been pretty bad traditionally for gaming because of latency, haven't had great color reduction or contrast, and have been too dim to use in daylight. That is, until now. AWOL has been making waves with their triple laser projectors, and their flagship, the 3500 Pro, is the upgrade that I was looking for. It has taken my gaming and content consumption to a whole new level. Video is sponsored by UnionCityPoints.com. If you want to activate your Windows, you can pay Microsoft $100 or more for Windows 10. Or you can get one from Manoli and seller like URCPs, who have uploaded Vortex for a discount on what is already a really low price, for a total of just $15 when you use my code. The keys work globally, and you can even use them to upgrade to Windows 11. After you've made your purchase, you'll find your key in your purchase orders on the URCP website. Click on Get Keys and copy the key. Then in Windows, click on Start and type Activate, and then click Activation Settings, then click Change Product Key, paste your key you just purchased, and click Next. That's it. Windows is activated. If you want Office 2021 Professional, you can use the same C25 code and get it for just under $84. URCB Keys are running their Black Friday super sale with loads of discounts on select products, so check the links in the description and their website to save on Windows, Office, and Games keys. A huge thanks to URCB Keys for sponsoring today's video. Check the links in the description to get your cheap OEM Windows key today. If you haven't heard of AWOL, they are an American-based company with a physical store in Florida, and they now have a presence in Europe as well. I got the 3500 Pro from Germany, so for you Euros out there, you can get this without having to import it from another continent. The main thing I was looking for was immersion, which you can't get from a 55-inch TV, let alone a PC monitor, but I didn't want to compromise on image quality. Most of the 3D projectors up there use a color wheel and smaller lenses, but the AWOL 3500 Pro uses true 3 lasers for each of the RGB signals, and an f2.0 Ricoh lens, which is currently the biggest on the market, and it's all glass, so you get perfect sharpness even in the corners of the image. This really sold it to me, as the projectors I've used before really felt short here. There's also support for Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, HDR10 and 10 Plus, which looks insane with games, as you'll see in a moment. And of course, this is an ultra short throw projector, so you don't have to hang it on the ceiling. You can keep it neatly close to the wall you'll be projecting to, or to an ALR screen, which I highly recommend you get as an extra, as that will let you make full use of the projector's color accuracy and sharpness. As the name suggests, the 3500 Pro features 3500 peak lumens, so that's just over 1000 nits, which is just incredible for a projector. In daylight or with the lights on, the image is perfectly fine. There's an upcoming model that is cheaper than the 3500 Pro, which is the 3000, and that has 3000 nits. So if you only plan to use the projector in a dark room, then it might be worth getting that one instead, as it will be more affordable than this one. Now for gaming, most projectors up there have a latency in the 50 millisecond range, which is basically unusable for games, though I was pleasantly surprised with the AWOL's 3500 Pro's Turbo mode, which lets you game at 4K 60 with only 50 milliseconds or 1080p 120Hz. Yeah, as this features high refresh gaming at only 8 milliseconds. This is truly a gaming-ready projector, and although I wouldn't be playing COD on this, for single-player games like Starfield or Assassin's Creed Unity, you just have to experience this in person, as it's on another level of immersion. You can project sizes from 80 inches to 150 inches. The ALR motorized full-rising screen that I have here is 120 inches. ALR screens have 50% more gain compared to CBSP ones, and this motorized feature is awesome, as you can just hide it away when you're not using it. It comes with a remote, and you can use a USB dongle to pair it with your projector remote, so you don't have to use both. Like I said, there's support for Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision with 107% Rec 2020 color gamut and a 2500:1 contrast ratio. And there's HLG for broadcast if you want to watch live sports or something. I tested it with some 4K content off of Amazon Prime, and it works seamlessly, which is one of the things that I value most. I don't like fiddling around with players or settings. I just want to press play and get the best possible version, well, as far as streaming is concerned anyway. So the formats supported here are beyond what most TVs have, so it's a whole other experience with no compromises. The projector has 25,000 hours of life, which is a long time. If you are connecting this to an external source, the unit does have a new ARC port, so it can carry high-quality audio over HDMI and uncompressed data streams like Dolby True HD Vision and DTS HD Master Audio from the projector itself to your soundbar or an AV receiver. So this is true high-end, no compromises here. There's also smart room integration with Control 4 if you are into that. You can use Alexa or Google Home, for instance, to change from home cinema mode to game mode without having to go into the menus. The projector even supports 3D, not this kind of 3D, this kind of 3D. You can watch those blockbusters on 3D Blu-ray right in the advertising. One of my favorites you have to buy the 3D glasses separately. Also get 8 in, so you can as a man check that. There's no USB
so after Apple officially pulled off the Lightning connector and fully swap over to Windows PC, we now have RCS support coming to iPhone. What is happening? And for those of you asking why or how this is possibly happening, well, for the same reason we got USB-C on iPhone. The EU, they have been pushing for this, and it's ugly. Apple has decided, okay, fine, whatever. Incidentally, we just uploaded a video about this exact thing. We made a whole video detailing how this could be the end of Apple, how the EU slowly picked them apart and pulled them away from their original DNA. In that video, we called it slippery slope. We have been calling it a slippery slope, so welcome to that. Welcome to the slope. It is slippery, and take your shoes off. No shoes allowed. Anymore, a spokesperson from Apple, like this is coming from Apple specifically, confirmation from them directly. Here's a statement from them to later next year, there will be RCS. Got it, take that part, put that piece of baby forward, put the copy, save it for later. That's going to be very important here in a little bit. We'll be adding support for RCS standard as currently published by the GSM certification. RCS will offer a better interoperability experience when compared to SMS or MMS. This will work alongside iMessage and will continue to be the best and most secure messaging experience. Those of you who are watching right now, like, oh, what? RCS? What's that? I don't even know where I am right now. I can help you with two. RCS, Rich Communication Service, is the evolution of standard communication that all of them Android folk SMS, MMS, they've been around for a super long time, they're super outdated, and it's time to move on. Android has just moved on a bit faster than it does, but RCS is an overall better standard for text messaging. It just is that way, and Apple hasn't given a single shit about it and implementing it because, well, it's not iMessage, and therefore not for iPhone people. So, Apple has been way ahead of the curve here, not using SMS or MMS when talking iPhone to iPhone, obviously. iMessage being their own proprietary platform allows for end-to-end encryption. You can share high-quality videos and images much better than you could ever with SMS and MMS. Android has been using RCS for a few years now to try to play catch-up to that, trying to give Android users a similar experience to that you would get through iMessage. The problem is, well, Apple doesn't care if you have RCS or not, because it's still, when you send a message from an Android phone to an iPhone, it's still going to come in through SMS or MMS. That's where the green bubbles come in. It's still... Apple don't play nice like that. And why would they? 87% of teenagers right now are using iPhones, specifically for things like iMessage, for exclusive features like iMessage. And what's going to happen when those 87% of teenagers grow up? They're still going to be using iPhone, and yeah, I mean, you can probably tell where this is going. Android manufacturers, as well as Google themselves, have been pushing, specifically the EU, to force this upon Apple so that things work better together. Though RCS is already great from Android to Android device, Apple bringing RCS to iPhone will majorly improve communications between iPhone and everyone else. And though on the surface it looks here like Apple is caving into those demands and giving everybody RCS on iPhone, making better interoperability, there's conversations about, oh, does that mean green bubbles are going away? That there's not going to be that weird exclusivity arguments going back and forth between blue bubble, green bubble. Though Apple is caving, they're being very clever about how they implement this. Remember that piece of paper I told you to fold up, put in your pocket, and save for later? Yeah, it's time to take that out. Let's talk about this right here, specifically in Apple's wording in their statement to 9to5Mac. They specifically referenced RCS Universal Profile. And though that version of RCS supports things like, you know, better images and videos coming through, no real character limits, being able to tell if a message was delivered or not, it does offer better compatibility back and forth, but specifically that version of RCS that they're implementing into iOS 18 next year, that Universal Profile does not support end-to-end encryption like iMessage. So even though it vaguely appears like Apple is complying here and making RCS available on iPhone, it's not going to come with the same level of encryption and data security as iMessage. And that is very sneaky
and big old bummer. Now, you might be asking, okay, what about Blue Bubble, Green Bubble? We still gonna have those? The answer to that is yes, of course. Why would Apple ever give up the Blue Bubble, Green Bubble thing ever in the history of everness? Is what I would say normally anyway, as it is, even if Apple hadn't said anything, but Apple did say something. They had, what? They said something, and that is green bubbles are going to stay. This is yet another thing Apple confirmed directly to 9to5Mac, saying that blue bubbles will still be used to represent iMessages, while green bubbles will be there to represent RCS messages. So for the average casual user, the average iPhone user, to them, there's going to be no difference. They're not going to know anything happened on the back end. So for the EU, for Android, congratulations. I guess you got them again. But it seems they found a little bit of a loophole. Okay, you ready now for my hot take, the Jern hot take of the day? I think this decision to add RCS to iPhone is, drumroll please, a good thing. Yeah, just like with USB-C, this kinda hurts nobody and benefits everybody. It's a very pro-consumer move. I am very happy to have USB-C on my iPhone 15 Pro. Very happy about that. I'll be happy that RCS support is coming to iPhone. That's all great. These are things that, at the end of the day, I am happy about. I'm just not happy about how we got there. Every time, man. Just like USB-C, this happened because of massive pressure from the EU. This is all happening just as predicted, just as I've been trying to tell you, and that is why and where the slippery slope comes into play. Because these changes made to Apple in response to outside pressure will inevitably end up negatively affecting Apple and iPhone users eventually. Though, right now, at least for today, this slippery slope is kind of comfy, so permission to enjoy the slipperiness. Okay, I gotta go to a sponsor break real quick, but after that, we're gonna talk about the real true person, the true one entity responsible for forcing Apple to make this change. You think it's the EU? No, no, no. There's someone secretly pulling all the strings in the background, and I will reveal his name. The break. Why, hello there, my fellow dudes. The holidays are here, and there's no better way to end No Shave November than with one of these, a razor from Harry's Razors. Giving gifts makes you look good, but gifting this Harry's starter set will make them look good too. Get you and your friends out of the razor aisle at the store and into a luxurious shaving experience by the one-stop shop for all men's grooming needs, Harry's. This starter kit includes a 5-blade German-engineered razor with a weighted handle, giving it an ultra-premium feel. It also comes with a super comfy foaming gel and travel cover. I promise you, once you use one of these bad boys, you will never go back. Speaking of never going back, Harry's, you really outdid yourselves with this one. Look at this limited edition all-black gift set with this matte black cracked handle with dotted rubber grip that looks like Batman himself uses it to shave this part of his Batman face. And your boy relies on Harry's too. How do you think I keep this neckline so pristine? So you, how do I say this delicately? Some really stupid stuff. And it's fine to point and laugh at this person because this person is Carl Pei, the CEO of Nothing, and he's rich, which makes this okay to laugh at him. So Nothing, the smartphone company that makes fancy lights and also smartphones, has basically come out and offered iMessage on the Nothing Phone 2 through Nothing chats. Now hang with me because this is all going to tie back together quite beautifully, if I may say. I'm not going to go through an entire technical breakdown here, but essentially Nothing chats will make it possible to sign in with your Apple ID, which then throws your credentials onto some Mac Mini in a server farm somewhere, and then routes everything back to you and Shazam. iMessage on Android. Right now, obviously, currently in the early stages, Nothing Chats is in beta, and okay, whatever. If there aren't major red flags, if you don't hear the alarm bells ringing in your head area, I don't know what to tell you. This service, Nothing Chats, works in cooperation with another service called Sunbird. They're the ones who are doing all the heavy lifting in the background. So let me reiterate here. You need to trust this completely separate company, Sunbird, with your entire Apple ID for this feature to work on the Nothing Phone 2. Like, well, think about all the information on your Apple ID. Think of all your stuff in iCloud. Think of everything. This is like giving your Apple ID to a hobo and then trusting him to run over to some fucking rinky-dink Mac Mini somewhere, type in your message, wait for someone to send it back, and then he runs back to you and tells you what the person said. Is that really iMessage? Would you give your Apple ID to a hobo? I don't think so. Everything from your Apple Pay information, contacts, iMessages. If someone with bad intentions goes into my iCloud account, I'm pretty sure my life is over. It would be a complete disaster. This is the opposite of end-to-end encryption, alright? This is end-to-end encryption if end-to-end encryption was like the human centipede, you know? If you do this, everyone is eating your shit. And yeah, okay, I did kind of say we should point and make fun of this terrible idea and Carl Pei, sure, but I get it, man. You're just trying to break into the US smartphone market, and it's rough out there with all the Gen Zers dunking on Android. I understand, but man, this is just really, really all the way not a good look. Now, something that we can 100% make fun of Carl for is this tweet right here. Now, hang on, let me add some context. This whole nothing chats iMessage thing happened a few days ago, right? Like, 2 days before Apple announced RCS coming to iPhone. Are you following so far? Okay. And because Apple announced RCS support 2 days after nothing did that thing they did, Carl Pei tweeted this entire Steve Jobs quote and how he's changing the world. And oh man, he's making a mark upon life, and wow, so brave, Carl. Congratulations, you did it. Wow, good job, man. Look at the bravery here. The minute that you understand that you can poke life, and actually something will, you know, if you push in, something will pop out the other side, that you can change it, you can mold it. That's maybe the most important thing, is to shake off this erroneous notion that life is there and you're just gonna live in it, versus embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it. Steve Jobs and Carl. See, I can't even. Oh my God! Look what you did. You made Quinn Nelson from Snazzy Labs, the nicest dude on the planet, come out and make fun of you. And listen, I can't even. Oh my God! Look what you did. You made Quinn. Nelson from Snazzy Labs, the nicest dude on the planet, come out. And make fun of you. And listen, Carl follows me on Twitter. We follow each other. We're cool. Well, I mean, we were until he sees this. Calm down, Captain Planet. All right, Carl, you are not that guy, pal. You are not that guy. The RCS thing was in the works and obviously has everything to do with the EU and nothing to do with some dude making tens of phones named Carl. And for real, do not toss your Apple ID credentials to anything or anyone that hasn't been personally fondled by Tim Cook himself. If you do that, he will find out. And he will find you.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? I'll talk to you about the new Blackwell rumor. So RTX 50 is supposedly coming out not this year, not next year, but the year after for some random reason, which makes no sense to me. But because if you go into these leaks and rumors, you know, you got the standard rumor leakers just backtracking on what they said in the past.
2025? I don't think so.
Throwing enough SH1T at the fan so that some of it sticks, and then they can say, "Look, I was right. I was right. I was right." So, said, I don't understand how that would be the case unless there's something in the JDEC spec for GDDR7 that we didn't know about. Now it's 384-bit bus, according to the same leaker. So this is very strange, very weird.
Good evening, everyone. Plenty of reasons to expect a compelling contest tonight here in the French capital, Paris. We're at the Parc des Princes. I'm Derek Ray, getting ready to bring you all the action, accompanied by my broadcasting partner, Stuart Robson. And the general feeling is we should be in for a spellbinding occasion. It's Paris Saint-Germain facing Real Madrid.
Well, Derek, we can talk about coaches and their methods, but it's now down to the players. Which ones are going to stand out, who will affect the game, and who will have the greater desire? It should be a cracking game, though.
The conspiracy to share the conspiracy. I could try either way.
Ramos. Verratti now. Messi. Nicely timed tackle. And the PSG team looks like this. Gianluigi Donnarumma is the keeper. Marquinhos plays with Sergio Ramos at the back.
Can he finish it here, Derek?
Can they cover up? Well, that's the end of that for now.
So, Windows 95 introduced the
Well, what a chance that was to take the lead. But you have to give the goalkeeper credit. What a brilliant save that was.
That was really cool.
And a super header. It looked as though it might be going in. Eduardo Camavinga.
Into the picture. So, the Windows team used
Toni
the
Kroos.
official United Nations
Now with Benzema.
recognized maps to
Camavinga.
determine where
Benzema.
all the boundaries were. But of
An
course,
exciting
not
talent
all
who has
countries
everything a
agree
forward needs to be
with the
successful.
official
Stuart, what are you expecting to see from Mbappe?
Well, he's such a natural finisher. He has everything a good goal scorer needs. Composure, technique and awareness. He will certainly need to be tightening him up today.
We still has a boundary dispute with Canada somewhere.
Attacking
Fortunately,
possibilities for
there's
Real,
no military aggression.
but nothing comes of
I
it.
remember the story about like that island that was.
And the advantage is with PSG. Opportunity it is.
There were even arguments from
And a goal!
countries
That is a very bright start. Perfect way to open.
A small European country would contact us and say, "Hey, can you like our country's kind of small? Can you give us one of our neighbors' pixels to make it easy to click on?"
Well, let's look at this again, Derek, because the transition when the ball changes hands is so quick. And Lionel Messi does the rest. He strikes it so cleanly, he hits it with power and accuracy. There's no stopping that one.
Some country saying, "Hey, why did you give one of our pixels to our
Verratti.
neighbor?" Like, if you look at the
No
map,
foul.
that belongs to
PSG
us.
advantage.
Like, and it's like there was no military conflict.
Verratti.
There was just like
That's
a
well
nationalistic
blocked.
pride. It's like, that,
And the
that
referee
pixel's
says
more than
corner kick.
50%, you know, our countries, like it should be ours. Like, why won't you give us our pixel?
Fired over by Messi.
And
just far
it's
too
basically
close to the
impossible satisfy
goalkeeper.
everybody on all of these things, and so we just made the decision. It's like, you know what? We will rotate
Real
the map
Madrid sloppy in
to put
possession.
your country or your time zone like in the center, so it looks like, hey, there you are, right in the middle. But we're not going to highlight it, so nobody can complain. But it's like, oh, you gave too many pixels.
Karim
to our neighbor
Benzema.
over there. It's like, I want that pixel. It's like,
Really
oh,
inventive
yeah.
stuff from Real here.
There was a bug that we introduced when we did that, though.
Maximum
Because
commitment,
the way
and he's given away the corner.
time zone map works is that we had a
Well off target. Didn't have an awful lot of space to work with, however.
Basically, it was color coded. We assigned a color to every time zone. And
Verratti.
the idea was that, oh, if you picked
Now with Hakimi.
United States Pacific time, we would say, oh, okay,
Possession given away, unfortunately.
Green. And so we would find all the green pixels in the map and highlight them.
Benzema.
And then all the other pixels in the map.
This could be the equaliser.
And so we just use the color coding as a way to identify pixels in the map. And so
really important piece of last-ditch defending.
But the map was still there. It was just that we still use the map.
Benzema.
Where land and ocean.
Oh, good save.
Now the problem was that at some point, Poland, there were some changes
fired over by
to
Kors.
the time zone information for Poland.
Not troubling the keeper.
Poland's time zone was assigned to match those of its neighbors, but we forgot to update the colors in the map. And so as a result, Poland's time zone, the original exclusive to Poland time zone, disappeared. Okay. Because nobody was using it anymore. And as a result,
the timing was perfect. Ball one.
The time zone picker map, there was ocean where Poland was supposed to be. But since the original time zone assigned to Poland was just deleted from the list because nobody used it.
Losing possession a bit easily.
You can think of it like every time we saw a time zone, we raised it.
What can they do to stop him running at them? Mbappe! Messi! Excellent save from Thibaut Courtois. Takes the shot. Thwarting him. Interception to snuff out the danger. A very effective clearance. Karim Benzema. Benzema. Losing possession. Danilo Pereira. So getting close to the half-time interval and PSG with the lead. Stuart, what strikes you about what you've seen from them in this half?
Well, they've worked hard and played well to be in front.
Oh, Stuart's a chance! He's foiled them on his own. Hakimi. On to Verratti. Oh, a fine block. The timing was perfect. It had to be. Vinicius Junior. Now with Hakimi. And Real come away with it.
Well, as the stats tell us, PSG have dominated the ball in the last 15 minutes and have been pressing to extend their lead. They just need to be a bit more clinical in front of goal.
Pereira. And the counter looks on here. Options available. Well, they seem to be onto something positive, but it faded away. So 1 minute of stoppage time. That's what the officials have said. And now passing it through. And that is that for the first half here in the French capital.
Probably like $2, right? But like we talk about, let's just say it's $1 or we need to get you 12 or 2. NVIDIA would, so NVIDIA when capacity of chips to increase, so we need to fire DRAM amounts. This is the reason when we got a 4060 Ti, 16 gigabyte, because they're using those higher capacity chips, right? And we couldn't do that previous generation because those higher capacity chips weren't out. So in terms of sport, 5090 going to be very underwhelming in terms of performance, I believe. And everyone's talking about 192 SMs. Wow, that's incredible. Nvidia is doing 160 something. Oh, it's 144 SMs this time around, right? So they went from 80 something to 144. That's a much larger leap than going from 144 to 192 in terms of percentage. So Nvidia went much larger and much bigger last generation than they are this generation. So in terms of
into the second half then, and Real doing the chasing.
Nvidia is going to make some sort of enormous see it. I don't think so. The only thing that was just thinking about the other day.
Could cross it in here.
202 usually demands refresh in the second. That's what he usually did. That's when he started doing. It used to mean also 202.
Danilo Pereira. Out of play it goes, and it will be a throw-in.
This generation, I can't be sure on that one, but
Well, PSG doing well to regain control of the ball. It's Neymar! Excellent save from Thibaut Courtois. Well, just the sort of thing we expect from Lionel Messi in the first half, Stuart.
Well, it's been a really good display for him so far, Derek. He scored the leading goal, he's been energetic, and his movement has caused lots of problems to this back line. Can he keep it going in the second half, though?
Vinicius Junior. Modric. Modric! Oh, terrific save.
Well, you're absolutely right. That's a top-class save. Just look how he reacts.
Well, they couldn't take advantage of the opportunity. Federico Valverde. This is Kroos. And it looked as though they might be in just for a second or two. Options in the middle. Kroos. Firing it in. And that's easy peasy for the keeper. Vitor Pereira. Neymar. He continues his run, but quick thinking defensively. 30 minutes left for play. Hakimi. This is Sergio Ramos. Good tackle. And the pass could do damage. And he's in the clear. And a goal! The keeper couldn't stop it. Real Madrid on terms.
Well, let's take another look at this ball by Benzema. He gets the timing absolutely right, and there's certainly no doubt about the finish. He really hits it with power and accuracy. Nothing the keeper can do about that.
So, a level contest, 1-1. And the referee has decided to award the free kick to PSG. Mbappe. Oh, good-looking run. And his teammate got him out of trouble. Useful looking position, you've got to say. Well, it came to nothing in the end. Well, that's not watertight defending. Neymar! Messi in the vicinity. And a relatively straightforward save for the keeper. Karim Benzema. Clean challenge. 20 minutes to go. Mbappe. Real Madrid doing well to regain possession here. Vinicius. Danilo Pereira. Neymar. Given away by Verratti. Benzema. He's in behind. Terrific save. Mbappe. Space afforded PSG. Mbappe! Oh, incredible save, and he snuffed out any sign of danger. Well, far from the ideal pass. No foul, PSG advantage. Oh, that's textbook goalkeeping. And maybe a chance for PSG now from this corner. PSG are going to switch things around on the personnel front.
Well, they've been frustrated for quite a while now, but these fans have suddenly come to life.
Well, the keeper won't be complaining about that corner kick delivery. His ball all the way. Eder Militao. Camavinga. Well, not the greatest pass. Easily intercepted. on the scent of a winner late in this game.
I've gone blank. I can't remember, but it was whatever.
Eder Militao. Carvajal.
Or the 980 Ti. So that means you're still getting.
Really a very poor ball.
A big whopping.
Fabian. Now with Mbappe. Element of risk there, but he's won the ball.
They were giving it a free guy. It would be pretty you know, what they do.
Now, counter-attacking possibilities here. They need to get bodies back. Modric! Well, it was a superb counter-attack, but no goal.
Yeah, really good play. Won the ball back well and then countered with great speed. That deserved a goal.
Substitution it is for PSG. Fabian. Mbappe. And that is offside. Quality of pass needs to be a bit better. What about the stoppage time situation? 2 minutes the word. Good pressure to win the ball back. At this late stage, Real Madrid doing everything in their power to grab a winner. And there it is, the full-time whistle. Well, they can't be separated, and goals very much part of the equation. Stuart, as always, interested to get your... Interesting 90 minutes ahead of us here. Paris Saint-Germain get things started. And the advantage is with PSG. Opportunity it is. And a goal! That is a very bright start. Perfect way to open.
Could be wrong on that. That's the last time I remember them going to 100 when they... I think they did it with...
The pass could do damage. And a goal! The keeper couldn't stop it. Real Madrid on terms.
It's GP 100, GP 102, TU 102, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's interesting that they're staying with that 2 nomenclature. I wonder why they're doing that. In terms of performance, I'd be surprised if 50% faster. Don't get your hopes up. Anyway, look, that's for me. Please consider hitting that Patreon, PayPal links in the description. All that stuff. If you like this type of content, we are 100% funded by you guys. Thanks to all my Patreons. You're all amazing. You are fucking brilliant. You get access to my Discord. You get access to all that stuff. You join up there on top. Next one, you press the stuff.
Today, AMD crushes records on air. AMD's new GPU beats the 4090 at this. Terrible news, NVIDIA's ending these RTX 4000 GPUs.
Well, I guess that's that. Let's go do